Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. I was looking at things this morning, and I do think that there's some things on her face that I want to fix, but I actually decided that I want to finish the hair in the upper left here before I go and do those things. So that's what I'll be doing today. So, right now, doing the hair over her shoulder. Have something weird going on right through here. So that will be the first order of business. Just, oh man, look at that. Look at that twitch. Looks like it's going to be a little bit annoying to fix. I'll do my best. Not quite sure I'm going to pull that off. It's okay. That's why I said I'll do my best. My goodness, I don't know what I did. Okay. Time to pull some shenanigans here. Hopefully I can figure that out. But yeah, I do feel like most of her facial features are doing pretty well. There's still something in some of her lower turns that I have not been able to identify the problem, but I can tell there is one. Probably somewhere around the mouth and nose. And then there's definitely some issues around her eyes in the upper turns. So at some point I will want to go back and fix those, but for now I just want to do hair. Never thought I'd utter those words, but here we are. I just want to finish what I started. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so I'll just take this slow as I've been doing. I feel like the quality has gone up considerably since I stopped making myself rush a little bit more. Because when it comes down to it, I don't think I'm actually in a hurry. I just kind of like taking it easy while working on this. It's okay, I think sometimes it's nice to have high-intensity art. I enjoy doing that with my speed paints, for example, where I try to finish things in about an hour. That's very high intensity. There's no chill in that at all. And it can feel pretty good. But sometimes I think it's also good to just kinda take life at your own pace and do what you want. And that's what this current project is for me. Just kinda relaxing and having a good time. I think that's the only reason I've been able to stream it. I'm not sure if I could properly keep up with the chat and do some of the more high-intensity stuff. Can't imagine trying to do a speed paint on stream still. I might try anyway someday. And just be okay with it if it looks bad, or unfinished. But for now, I do rather enjoy just taking it easy. I get the feeling, at least with rigging, it'll probably be that way for a while. Because when it comes to rigging, there's still a lot going on in my head, a lot that I need to figure out. I haven't gotten to the point where I can kind of autopilot my way through things. It's okay, it'll come. I just gotta keep practicing. And I certainly will. I still want to try to figure out tracking a little bit better so that this way I can make my animations look a little bit less scuffed. I've managed to find a mostly good place for tracking for my personal model here, but you can see when I start turning my head a little bit too much, one of the eyes starts kind of freaking out. Someday, man. Someday I will get around to really digging into that and making that look good. I think part of me is also hoping that some people will share their findings, and I won't have to do as much science myself. Laziness prevails. I just got too many things I want to do. There's just too many. Too much stuff. Too many interesting things out in the world. How am I supposed to choose what to do? Why do I have to do boring things like sleep and die? Why can't I just be alive forever and do cool things? The questions I have to ask myself. But yes, it's on my bucket list. I've got a lot of things on my bucket list right now. Because right now, I want to try to learn 3D modeling. I want to learn more about client-server architecture so I can make some online games. I want to write a comic, learn how to draw faster so I can write a comic. There's just so many things. I could probably go on for a long time. That's just what I've been doing this week. Like... Oh yeah, and I still want to get better at public speaking and all that stuff so that I can be more entertaining on stream and all these various other things. Man, there's just so many things. Want to teach my own kids how to read. Way too many things to do. Life is pretty cool. Just look in a direction and you just see all the stuff. All the stuff that I never even imagined. That is the joy of approaching the world with curiosity. Just look over there and it's like, oh, there's something shiny over there. The hardest part is just picking which things to focus on. I've never been very good at that. But I've also been very good at that, so... Who knows? It's true. I tend to get into modes where I just kind of scatter everywhere, do super scatter shots to try to see what I'm interested in doing, and then after a while things kind of start falling off. I start picking which ones I really want to go for, and I stop doing a bunch of other stuff, and it's a little bit sad. But at the same time, it means that I have found something that I consider very worthwhile. And right now, I'm still in a bit of a scattershot phase. So I'm just trying to do all the things. We'll see which ones I keep and which ones I drop. But at least to me, I don't regret starting any of them. Because it means if I want to revisit it in the future, well, I can. And I'll be a little bit further than I would be if I had started at that point in the future. And if I decide I don't want to, well, that's also okay. Because it means that I will have learned something from what little effort I did put into whatever this thing is. Like, even if I decide I don't want to write a comic, I now know that I can write a story by myself, without relying on other people. Prior to now, most of my writing was done via role-playing, so that always involved another person. But now I've done pretty okay just on my own. Still wouldn't show it to anyone in its current state, but that's okay. I have developed it to the point where I feel like I could write a story when the time comes. And I think that's what's important here. Never regret building skills. Maybe someday you'll find some tangential use for them. Alright, I think I finally got this strand right here wrangled. Still a little bit of shifting right through here. So let's take a look at that. Might need to consult the mesh on that one. So that one looks kind of tricky. So I'm still not entirely sure what's wrong with it. Yeah, let's just make life easy and consult the mesh here. Try to even out the spacing between the vertices a little bit. That should help a little. Okay, this is like tilting upward though. So let's really... Man, the color of her hair and the color of the lines are really, really similar. So it's a little bit hard to see. Sorry, Mesh, I cannot hear you very well like this. But I will do my best. Okay, is that any better here? Yeah, it's a little bit better. I don't think it's quite fully there yet. There's still, right here, still a little bit off. I think I'd like to get this one before I start moving on to the other parts of this strand here. Yeah, it's cold for a bit, but now I'm overheating under my blanket. That is the one upside of cold. You get to snuggle up in cozy blankets. Just reminds me of my son. He really likes to just grab a huge pile of blankets, bring it up to bed with him. I remember for a while he had like 5, but then he started wanting to bring them downstairs in order to use them around the house, and would not always bring them back up with him after that, so now he only has like 2 or 3. But just had this massive pile of blankets and would ask me to tuck him in to all of them. It's very cute. Okay. So I do indeed think that I have everything through right here looking really good. This is the upside of taking my time. I can just really look into it and make sure I get everything just right. And in a way, sometimes I think it's actually a little bit faster when I don't try to rush. Because then I don't get overwhelmed and I don't just make silly mistakes. So now the next area to grab would be this dark line and the light area between it. Between these two. Gotta get those just right. So far, I think everything is lining up fine when I turn her head this direction. So I'm gonna be mostly concerned with getting it right from this angle here. Where I just move from the left to the upper left. Because I think that's the one that's looking the worst. I think once I get that one looking pretty okay, the rest will come, I believe. Probably won't have to change too much. I might have to change a little bit. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. My brain just can't help but think of everything 5 steps in the future. It keeps happening. I can't stop it. Even if I tell my brain not to worry about it, it's just gonna happen. I blame chess. I played chess quite a lot when I was younger, and I think it trained me to think several steps ahead. There are pros and cons to this. The pros is that, of course, I can think several steps ahead, and it means that I'm good at breaking down problems into actionable steps that don't just immediately overwhelm me and make me not want to do whatever the thing is. The bad news is that it probably makes me more anxious than I would be otherwise, because I'm thinking into the future quite a lot, and that's not always healthy. So what I'm looking at now is that on this left turn here, there's a little bump in the hair right here. And I'm trying to make sure that I have that bump properly captured. Currently, I do not. But I think it's an important little bump, so I would like to capture that properly. It's just a matter of actually figuring out where it should be, and where some of these other little parts down here should be as well. How much should they be tucked in? How much should they be pulled out? All those good things. Just trying to get rid of every little bit of shifting that I see. But I did actually sleep last night, so my eyes are feeling a little bit more on point today. Yesterday, they didn't quite know what was going on. That's alright. That's why I did some strands yesterday. Got this one looking nice. And I am quite pleased with it there, so hopefully I can get this little bit more difficult area working for me today. Now that my eyes are hopefully on point. I also tried to do my weekly speed paint yesterday, but it just was not happening. I was too tired. That's okay. That's why whenever I can, I try to do it on Saturday. So that this way, if I just can't for whatever reason, I still have one more weekend day to get it all done. I still have some things I want to try out to help me draw faster. Because I'm realizing that my biggest downfall in the way I do things, and that probably stops me from being able to be fast, is that I'm very good at getting atmosphere down quickly, but not structure. So I always have to spend a bunch of time figuring out proportions, and how the body's turning, and all this stuff. Stuff that I think most people that, you know, are at the same level as I am art-wise would probably find fairly easy. But man, do I have to make lots of adjustments before I get it to look right. So I've been trying to find some good ways to incorporate more structure into my process. So that this way I have to spend a little bit less time flailing. I don't want to flail as much as I do. It's not fun. It's okay. I have ideas. I have things that I want to try. It'll be great. It's not the kind of thing you're going to notice in a speed paint. I'm not even sure if it's the kind of thing that you'll notice in the result. To an extent, like, in theory, because I'm doing those things faster, maybe I'll be able to draw more complicated things. Like, if you asked me last year if I could draw a good face in under an hour, I probably would have said no. If you had asked me 6 months ago if I could draw a specific character's face in an hour-long speed paint, I would have said no. But now I can do both those things, so I can tell that the improvement's coming. I just wish it was faster. It's like, man, why does everything have to take so long? Brain, why can't you just be better? It's how I feel. So I do think that all these things I'm trying are adding up. I just gotta figure it out. Keep doing it over and over again. Honestly, it just reminds me of the way people talk about practicing something. Sometimes I think people make it more complicated than it needs to be. Because when it comes down to it, if you want your brain to learn how to do something, you just gotta do it repeatedly. Like, there are certain extents where studying can help, getting ideas from other people is useful, but ultimately, the way that our brain gets better at something is just by doing it over and over and over again, repeatedly. And eventually it just kind of gets used to it, and it gets good. This isn't just true for art, it's true for everything. And that once our brain learns that it needs to do something, then it'll figure it out. So when it comes to art, if you want to get better at art specifically, just look at what you're doing now and being like, I want to be able to do this. In my case, it's draw fast, or draw cool lighting. Make better compositions. Those are probably my three biggest ones. Composition, posing, yes. And so, I try to do those things. I try to draw with cool poses in my head. I look up cool poses to draw. I think about what makes the poses cool. I think about what makes lighting cool. I look at other art that I think has lighting that is cool. I look outside and I see the sunrise and I'm like, man, that's some cool lighting. So it's just, you look at what you want to do, and then you try to do it, and you fail a lot. But eventually, with each failure, a little kernel of truth will stick in your brain, and you'll move in the right direction. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the story of how I learned a little bit about networking. I do not know very much about... In this case, I mean networking in terms of computers, not with people. I can talk to computers way better than I can talk to people, but... Yes, it was when I was a tiny one. I think I was like 15 or something. And an online game that I liked made a terrible decision that was super anti-player, and I was really mad. So I was like, I want to learn how to hack their server so this way I can fix it. Or at least give myself enough goodies that I'll still have fun in the game despite this terrible decision. So I started learning about how online games are made. I started learning a little bit about TCP and all these other things. I just saw something, moved in that direction, and I ended up not doing anything at all with it. I naturally could not actually hack their server. Like, I don't even think that's spoilers at this point, that I never did that. But, that is where I got the start. I just saw something I wanted to do. And so I started looking into how it's done, and then I started practicing it a little bit. I started just doing some minor bits of programming. It's kind of where I got my start with programming. And then what actually got me to learn programming very well was I wanted to make skins for 4MRP. So that's actually where I got a lot of my, at least client and development skills from. I just saw something I wanted to do, so I kept trying to do it. And what do you know? More than a decade later, I still have those skills. Because of arbitrary decisions that I made a long time ago. And now I know more things, and I can still do those things with it. And even though I never hacked that MMO server, I know a little bit about computer networking. And so now that I'm kind of interested in making an online game of my own, I have at least the very start of that skill set. So yes, if there's something you want to do, just go do it. And be ready for lots of failure. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Keep trying and your brain will learn things. Don't know where to get started? Understandable. I didn't when I was trying to figure out how to do that either. I just Googled it. And as you get one kernel of info from whatever random thing that you Google, it'll give you information that you can then proceed to continue to Google new information that'll probably get you better results, because now you know a little bit more, and it'll snowball. Lead search, you'll probably learn a little bit more. It also helped that my dad knew a little bit about this stuff so I could ask him. But there's been a lot of things that I've learned that I don't know anybody that knows. The internet is great. I'm so glad that we have Google and I don't have to do things like go to a library every time I want information. Pray that I can find what I'm looking for in a book or something. In the bodies of dead trees. Super convenient. So for anyone listening today, if there's something that you've been wanting to try, but don't really know how to do it or don't think that you can do it, just do it anyway. It'll be a good time. And even if you don't get far, you'll be a little bit further than you were yesterday. Kind of reminds me when I was learning Japanese. The first time I tried to learn Japanese, I think I was still in high school. And I learned a little bit. Didn't get that far, but I learned a little bit until I decided I wanted to do something else with my time. And then I tried again a while later. And I got a little bit further. I knew a little bit more. And I tried again a few times, and each time I got a little bit further. I understood a little bit more, and now that I'm trying to learn it again, the knowledge from the past is coming to help me. Because all those things I learned are still somewhere in my head. They've been kind of suppressed, and I am having to not necessarily relearn a lot of things, but remember things that I learned in the past. But because I gained some of that knowledge, it's coming a little bit faster than it was the time before. And so this time it's a little bit easier than it was last time, and I'm getting a little bit further than I did last time. So we'll see if I actually get a degree of fluency this time. See if I can talk to people on Pixiv like I want, before I decide I want to do something else. And if I do decide that I want to do something else, I think that's okay too. I do not regret ever trying to do any of these things that I've done. Each time I have learned something. It's like hell. I'm still kind of mad at a lot of my role-playing communities right now. But even those ones have given me something interesting. Even just besides learning a lot about writing and character development. I have cool characters that I'm using, like the core of my comic idea was indeed for a character that I made for a role-playing site. And she spawned this entire comic idea, basically. And I am more or less designing the entire world around her. Never stop doing things. I think the only time something is a waste of time is when you're not enjoying yourself. Or at least not getting something that will let you enjoy yourself. As is the case with, like, jobs where you need to get money and that kind of thing. Some of that's kind of unavoidable, but... just gotta move in a direction. Doesn't always matter what it is. Just getting the knowledge and skills to do anything at all will help you later. And through all that, I think I might finally be getting somewhere. And all these little color changes in her hair down here. Because, man, there were a lot of little things to pay attention to. I mean, right here is still pretty bad. But the rest, I think, is looking a lot better. Alright, I'm going to start at the bottom here. And try to work my way up. Alright, so now this part that kind of splits off into two little shadows there is looking a little bit better. So let's see if I can keep that going all the way up here. Man, I wasn't expecting this part to be so far off. It kind of makes me wonder if I have some mistakes on some of the other turns. I did double check the left head turn though, relative to the center, and I thought it was looking okay, so yeah. I still think it's looking okay. At most, maybe right up here is sliding there. So I guess I'll fix that. Need to pull some of this down just a little bit here. Mesh here is a little bit messy, so it makes it a little bit hard to see. And then I think I want to clean up this edge just a little bit here. I don't like how it's moving, so I'm gonna make it a little bit nicer here. I guess there were a few more mistakes on the left head turn than I thought there were. It's like I did check it, but apparently I didn't check it closely enough. Okay, no, that's fine. I thought that there might have been something weird about the side of her head here, but no, that's fine. Totally fine. So I just want to smooth this out a little bit here. Hopefully make things just a little bit cleaner, a little bit less wrinkly. All things you don't want in your hair. No hair wrinkles allowed. Only soft and smooth. How the heck did I mesh this? What is going on over here? What is this supposed to look like? Literally like that. Okay, fair enough. So I have it right, it just... I don't know what my past self was thinking. I guess she was just doing her best. So this is what I mean, there's a lot to learn. And... I have not gotten sufficient failure under my belt to know these things yet. So I will definitely have to do some more practicing. Maybe I'll draw myself a chibi model at some point. Practice on that. Okay, but I do think that's looking a little bit better there. So hopefully that'll make the upper left turn better, and also easier to do. Hopefully I have fixed some problems. Or maybe I created more problems for myself, who knows. Only time will tell. But I guess what I've been trying to say with this ramble that's been going on for the entirety of the stream today, if there's something you want to do, go do it. If you don't have time, make time. Just do it. If it's something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, just go. Just do it. If you're afraid you're gonna suck, you're probably entirely correct. Your fears are well-founded, but do it anyway. Because the only way to not suck is to suck for a while first. Brain needs time to process all the information and learn. You know, I keep telling myself that I should probably restart Inochi Creator at some point, and I keep just not doing it. So you know what? I'll make a point of doing it right after stream today. I'm gonna go type in chat that I have restarted Inochi Creator. I'm gonna do it while my end screen is up. Because I feel like I have been getting a little bit of stuttering that's not directly related to the autosave, and it's a little annoying. And this is totally not the program's fault. I blame Windows. Windows has also been nagging me to restart my computer for updates, but I've been saying no. Not gonna. Got other things I want to do. So many things I want to do. Imagine taking time to wait for my computer to reboot. Things have to be breaking harder than that to convince me to reboot it. You know, when I started on this today, I did not actually expect this little clump of hair that I've been working on to take the entire stream. But here we are. It was a little bit of a mess, so I guess it's not too surprising. I'll be glad once it's done. That was a lot of movement there, so let's see if it helped. Oh yeah, that's so much better. It's probably gonna break things over here, but I will fix it over here later. Let's get it right over here first. One thing at a time. I know my brain likes to think in terms of like 4 or 5 things at a time, but gotta tell it to back up. Slow down. Let's see here, the very top of the strand. I'm just not quite sure how to move it. It's like I try to move it and it never quite comes out the way I want it to. An angle somewhere is always just a little bit off. So I try to fix it again and... it's okay. Lessons for future me. I think part of it might actually be the side bang here. Maybe I don't have that completely correct. Because yeah, when I look at it, there's a little... it gets a little bit thicker through there. Although actually I think it's more correct in the upper left than it is the left. So let's just thicken that out real quick. And maybe that'll help me out. Maybe it'll help me see things a little bit more correctly throughout all this. So let's just fix this up a little bit here. And indeed, it does look like there's some parts getting just a little bit thicker through here. So I'll go ahead and make them just a little bit thinner. Just a little bit. I don't think it's that far off. But as always, my brain, for whatever reason, just can never see this strand and always skips over it in my layer stack. Okay, and then I think I want to raise this light part and the little pink part above it. Just a little bit more. Let's go... boop. Straighten out the vertices a little bit. Make the triangles nice. And and hopefully that'll do it. Close, yes. I do think that is a little bit better. And hopefully it'll make it easier for me to see what I'm doing in the strand under here. Because man, if I can't even get her over the shoulder hair done today, I'm gonna be sad. And there's a little thing right here in the lower turn. I really like just being able to make her head go up and down and up and down. Makes it so much easier to see little problems like this. That is going to be something to keep in mind for future projects. Or maybe I should be doing the turns all at once instead of highly separated, like I finish one completely before moving on to the next. Maybe I should be sketching out rough ideas for each one before I go in and do all the finishing touches and stuff. I do think it's coming together, though. I think I'm close to the end. There's just a lot. Like, look at all these different colors here. There's so many. Actually, I think this part I had to draw most of it. As if I recall that entire area, yeah, a lot of this was just completely covered up by the hair in the original, so when I was doing the initial cutting, I had to draw a lot over there to make it look, well, to give me enough room to be able to move things around like this. And now I'm back to having to convince my brain not to rush. Because I know it's been almost an hour, and I'm probably not going to want to go super long today. But I really, really want to finish this little strand here. This clump. Want to get it done. I mean, the good news is that once I finish this clump, the rest of the over-the-shoulder hair tends to go super fast. This clump tends to be the only part that I have to spend a bunch of time on. I actually have been considering revisiting her over-the-shoulder hair a little bit. Just to, I don't know, make it look a little bit less flat. But, like, it just doesn't move that much. Because it's on her shoulder. So, I mean, I think it makes sense that it doesn't move very much. So, I don't know. I think it's probably fine. I do kind of feel like I'm on the final stretch here, though. Yeah, there we go. I think that's looking pretty alright. Let's go ahead and hide the side bang here, and the strand, and get it looking good over here too. Yeah, you can see I kind of have to stretch it out, but I think that's okay. I think as long as I raise this part here, it won't look like it's being too stretchy. I think I can afford to just make it a little bit stretchy. If that's what I need to do. Like, I don't think I have to worry about making the part underneath the side bang there look super good or anything. There's just a slightly darker line right here that I want to make sure doesn't look like it's stretching. Yeah, there we go. Already got it. Okay, let's clean up the angles here just a little bit, so that this way I am not super limited when it comes time to add physics. But like, this part's always going to look weird if it doesn't have something on top of it, so... not much I can do there. Okay, that should be fine. Let's go ahead and put the side hair back on there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Still got a little bit of time here, so let's go ahead and make sure that the rest of the hair in this area is looking good. But honestly, I think it is. I think it's just fine. I don't think there's anything I really want to change. Hooray! Okay. So that's that done. Let's do a couple strands. Because honestly, I get the feeling that a lot of these little strands are going to be just fine too. Didn't like where that one was resting, but otherwise I think it looked okay. Yeah, I still kind of don't. Let's see here. Because it just kind of sits on where that spot starts, but I ended up moving this shadow shape quite a lot. So now I have to kind of figure out how to reconcile that. Oh no! I made decisions. And now I have to live with those decisions. It's fine. I think I can make it work. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks okay. Alright, let's do one more. Over here. Of course it's this one. Okay. This one tends to be either just fine or completely awful. This time it's just fine. Heck yeah, I don't even have to change anything. Oh man. And then a little loop here. Once again, I don't feel like I have to change anything. Oh man, getting so much work done while doing absolutely nothing. It's wonderful. Okay, strand here. Oh, would you look at that? It's just fine, without any changes. Well, is there anything that I want to change here? Very slightly. There's just a tiny angle here. Barely noticeable, but it'll make me happy, so we'll do it. Just want to push it a little bit closer to her head, I think. Yep, that's a little bit better. Okay, cool. Here. So that's gonna be this one, I think. Yep, I think that's good. And that one. Okay, this one needs to change a little bit. Gonna have to think about how exactly, but... Oh yeah, that's because it doesn't actually connect to here. But I don't know, I still think it feels a little bit strange, so I think I'm just gonna lift the whole thing just a little bit higher here. And I think I'll do it the same here. I have an itch on my nose there. I always hate it when that happens because it makes my model kind of freak out. Yeah, that seems pretty okay. Alright, that's all strands too. So I guess tomorrow will be back hair. I definitely did not want to attempt that today, because back hair is always kind of a nightmare. But I think it's looking good. Look at her wiggle. Yay! Okay. So tomorrow, back hair and shadows, so that should let us have a completed upper left head turn. Very exciting. But that is where I will be ending for today, so thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to create something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.